Donald Trump has been saying that he will run for president as a Republican, which is surprising since I just assumed he was running as a joke.
Your birthday?
That's right.
Get any good presents?
I got a lot of good kisses.
Where did you get the kisses from?
From a beautiful wife.
I'm automatically attracted to beautiful. I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. Just I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab them by the pussy. I can do anything.
I think that's one of the more outrageous comments that anyone could make.
You can't say things that are false, knowingly false, and be able to smile as money pours into your bank account. We have to close down our government. We're building that wall.
People have got to know whether or not their presidents are corrupt.
I have a message tonight for the special counsel, Robert Mueller.
Remember, that's the dossier that talked about Trump at a Ritz-Carlton in Moscow with 2 prostitutes urinating on his bed? The fake document about President Trump, and that goes to the Ritz-Carlton, and that goes to hookers. That phony dossier quoting Russians and the Ritz-Carlton and hookers, that was about the Ritz-Carlton and hookers. You know, talking about hookers and urinating in beds. Hookers, Ritz-Carlton, urinating on a bed. Russian, hookers, urinating in his bed. Peeing, urinating on beds. Wow. Do you laugh at the hookers in the Ritz in Moscow? Is that the funny part?
This is utter madness.
No, I'm not a racist. I am the least racist person you have ever interviewed. That I can tell you.
And that's going to trump this hyperbolic, crazy left rhetoric we're getting every day.
Bingo.
Now here's the good news. I did nothing wrong. There was no collusion. There was no obstruction. The IG report yesterday went a long way to show that.
Thankfully, the president hasn't done anything wrong and wouldn't have any need for a pardon.
But does he absolutely rule out doing that? I mean, does he rule out ever issuing a pardon for himself?
Once again, thankfully, the president hasn't done anything wrong and therefore wouldn't need one.
The president of the United States pardoning himself would just be unthinkable, and it would lead to probably an immediate impeachment. Eventually, the decision here is going to be impeach, not impeach.
Listen, you motherfuckers. I'm going to bomb the shit out of them.
Grab them by the pussy.
Get that son of a bitch off the field. Political bullshit. They're ripping the shit out of the sea. He's a pussy. You're not going to raise that fucking price. All I can say is it's totally fake news. It's just fake. We are fighting the fake news. It's fake, phony, fake. Some of the fake news said, I don't think Donald Trump wants to build the wall.
Did you speak to Fire Mueller?
Fake news, folks. Fake news. That was just fake news. It's fake news. It's frankly disgusting the way the press is able to write whatever they want to write. A few days ago, I called the fake news the enemy of the people, and they are. They are the enemy of the people. He speaks and his people sit up at attention. I want my people to do the same.
This is bigger than Watergate. That's like Watergate's like stealing a Snickers bar. It makes Watergate look like stealing a Snickers bar. This makes Watergate like stealing a Snickers bar.
He speaks and his people sit up at attention. I want my people to do the same.
It's becoming a cultish thing, isn't it?
Listen, you motherfuckers.
Robert Mueller's illegitimate runaway witch hunt. It is, and it has been from the beginning, a witch hunt.
This is a witch hunt.
This is a witch hunt.
Basically a witch hunt.
The witch hunt, if you will.
It's a damn witch hunt.
Mueller is there to show collusion between Russia and Trump, and there's none so far, so why not end it?
Where is any evidence of collusion? Show us. Nothing so far, not a whiff.
There is zero evidence of Russia collusion.
So just so we're clear, everyone, 4 words: conclusion, collusion, no. Illusion, delusion, yes. I just thought we'd have some fun with words.
Are you worried that Michael Cohen might flip?
Look, I did nothing wrong. You have to understand. Manafort has nothing to do with our campaign. But I feel I feel a little badly about it. They went back 12 years to get things that he did 12 years ago. You know, Paul Manafort worked for me for a very short period of time. Paul Manafort has done an amazing job. And all of Paul's people. Paul brought on a staff, and we really do. We have a great staff of talented people.
The goal of tonight is to lay out some of the vision of the Trump-Pence campaign.
Our opponents, the media, and the whole world will soon see, as we begin to take further actions, that the powers of the president to protect our country are very substantial and will not be questioned.
The Department of Justice will not stand idly by while our laws are being nullified and undermined.
If we don't straighten out our border, we don't have a country. Without borders, we don't have a country.
So would I shut it down over this issue? Yes.
No, we're going to have a real border. We're going to have a real wall. Mexico's going to pay for it.
As long as Stephen Miller is in charge of negotiating immigration, we're going nowhere.
People are going to make mistakes. I think you saw that with Stephen Miller and that rushed out ban on Muslims. That was not really a ban on Muslims.
You have to really attribute that failed push at a travel ban to people like Steve Bannon and Stephen Miller, who crafted this thing, reportedly crafted this thing without really running it through the legal checks.
Entry into the United States is a crime. It should be, it must be. If you're going to have a legal system and have any limits whatsoever, persons who violate the law of our nation are subject to prosecution. If you violate the law, you subject yourself to prosecution. I would cite you to the Apostle Paul and his clear and wise command in Romans 13 to obey the laws of the government, because God has ordained the government for his purposes.
It's clearly within their power to make the laws and change the laws. They should do so. The children are not being used as a pawn. We are trying to protect the children, which is why I'm asking Congress to act.
These parents themselves are using these children as pawns to gain entry in the United States, knowing that we can't detain them. And as far as the separation of families are concerned, you have to put the blame on the parents. They are choosing to enter between the ports of entry. They know they will be separated, but they want to blame the government when we were forced to do that. So let's put the blame where it lies.
Are you considering this a deterrent?
I see that the fact that no one was being prosecuted for this as a factor in a 5-fold increase in 4 years in this kind of illegal immigration. So yes, hopefully people will get the message and come through the border at the port of entry and not break across the border unlawfully.
These child actors weeping and crying on all the other networks 24/7 right now. Do not fall for it, Mr. President.
Kids are being separated from their parents and temporarily housed in what are essentially summer camps.
These kids get fanned out to working class neighborhoods into our society, and then they have to be paid for by English as a second language, and then they got to be schooled, and a lot of them, sadly, when in my neighborhood, turn into MS-13.
This is one of those moments that tells you everything about our ruling class. They care far more about foreigners than about their own people. No matter what they tell you, this is not about helping children. A lot of people yelling at you on TV don't even have children, so don't for a second let them take the moral high ground. Their goal is to change your country forever, and they're succeeding, by the way.
The children can be taken care of quickly, beautifully, and immediately.
The president, with one swipe of his pen, could end this policy tomorrow.
Children being taken away from.
No, I hate it. I hate the children being taken away. The Democrats have to change their law. That's their law.
He could stop it if he wanted to. All he has to do is pick up the phone and say, stop taking babies away from their mothers. That is entirely within the power of the President of the United States. And if he's not willing to do that, then he needs to own it, because it's on him.
He speaks and his people sit up at attention. I want my people to do the same.